and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. You like that opening? No, probably not. You're probably pissed at me. I'm sorry. Should I start over? You know what? No, we're not going to start. We're just going to go forward. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Crazy A. Crazy. Boy, this one, the whole one's chalked up to a mess. Number 260. What is this? 261. It's all a mess. This is all a mess, but you know what? That's okay, because sometimes voiceover is a mess, and we're going to continue to make it happen. So, welcome to our podcast. This is episode 260, actually, of a VO's Journey podcast, and it's good to have you. If you're still around and you haven't run away screaming or calling me an idiot, thank you. Today we're going to be talking about something really, to me, that is just becoming so much more important now more than ever, is owning your own content, owning your own stuff as a voice actor, and how that applies to us. I really want to chat with you about it and share my thoughts and some of the things we're doing, okay? And how this can help you. All right, let's do it. This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica. So, after that opening, I'm on fire. I hope you're having a good one. And as promised, I am back after 1 week. If you couldn't get far enough away from me, I apologize. I am back again. Very excited. And I'm really actually have a lot of fun and exciting things happening in the next few months and right now, that just lots of excitement and good things happening. But I want to chat with you today about a couple of things. Owning your own content. And of course, I can't, start without, sending a shout out to SAG-Aftra and the Writers Union. I think that there are so many people, even though I'm non-union and the majority of people I work with are non-union voice actors, and then, of course, I only pretty much do non-union work, that, I think it's important, though, to, acknowledge that there are a lot of people who do struggle to make any sort of living. Actually, I was just finishing up a blog post earlier about the averages, and I think the medium average of voice actors, is that are making it, right, is about $30,000 a year. And that's a lot of money. But at the same time, you and I know in our society today, that's not going to get you a year, that's not going to get you any sort of livable life. You know what I mean? Just a livable life, not even anything extravagant. So it's one of those situations where we have to, I think, acknowledge that, what it takes to make more money in our industry as a voice actor. And of course, SAG-Aftra, yes, it includes voice actors, but primarily, it's about the actors and the residuals and AI, which is, of course, we're all fighting AI right now. But for us and owning content, it goes back to me. It goes back for me to who owns the rights to stuff. And everybody's going to have a different opinion, of course. But, to me, as a business owner, a voice actor, an actor, I've you're always torn, I think, because, you have your art, which is what you spend your lifetime and your life's work and you dedicate everything to, right? Your craft. And then you're also a business owner, right? Where you have to think strategically as a business owner. Now, I'm not talking about what's going on with SAG-Aftra. I'm just talking about us as non-union voice actors right now. So, and as a business owner, we have to consider, what do we own and what don't we own? And when majority of us as non-union voice actors, right? I mean, we primarily do work. It's bought out in perpetuity a lot, and that's it. We get paid just like normal, like anyone else would get paid for doing a job. And I've done that pretty much the whole time I've been a voice actor, and I don't have a problem with it. But as I've grown in the industry and moved further along, I've realized that there are a lot of other ways there's other pricing models, right? And especially when it comes to residuals, when it comes to royalty payments, right? And licensing your intellectual property. And let's be honest, I mean, there's been, and I think this is where some people might get confused, right? Because I've seen a lot of stuff online about, people angry about how, why are actors or writers saying that, they should get residuals or they should have this stuff because that's not how the rest of the world works. And I think there's a confusion there because it actually is, but the way it's said is not familiar to some of the people who are speaking that. And that means that think of what a patent does. Okay, right? Think of a patent. A patent is something that you file, okay, for intellectual property. Then you file that, and the government allows you then to have a lock on anyone that wants to use that specific design, okay, for their own purposes to make money. They allow it, but you have to pay the person who owns the patent, or you have to come up with a deal with them, right? This is how some of the richest people in our country and the world, especially from generation to generation, right? They keep making money because they are being paid residuals off of the patents and the ownership of the designs and the things that were come up before. And I think to me, I see this as the same thing with going on with SAG and the Writers Union as well. It happens. It's so frequent that is the business model that it's confusing to other people because that's not how generally, trading time for money is, right? It's a different model, and that's, but it's just said differently instead of saying it's like a patent, right? It's intellectual property. But again, going back to what I was trying to say in the beginning about owning your own stuff. So to me, I'm more aware than ever of just the differences between trying to go out there and grab business and market yourself and advertise and something that the audition, the things that we do every day to get voiceover work. And I love that part of our job. I really do. I love that part of our business. But I also think it's really cool to consider what would it be to own our own stuff. So I just want to give you a perfect example. And if you think about it this way, it changes the whole mindset of what we do. So what's very popular right now for non-union voice actors, especially beginners, is YouTube documentaries. Now, all of you listening, you probably know what I'm talking about. The really low-paying, a lot of words, YouTube documentaries. And, it's funny because as AI came out, AI has been rejected. I mean, a lot of it, no one's kind of talking about it because, we are fighting it. We're all fighting it. But it's being rejected because it sucks. I mean, it breaks down after a period of time. And, you're always going to have these people who are like, oh, it's so amazing. But, another industry like audiobooks flipped up their middle finger at AI, because they were so big. Oh, it's going to take over audio. No, I mean, I've not met one author who's like, yeah, I want to use AI. Never. And you don't hear because it stings, right? I mean, it's just not there. So anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that, these YouTube videos, okay, we get paid, or they are, a lot of these creators offer, $10, $15 for 500, 1,000, 1,500 words. It's crazy, right? But that's a lot of work, and it's very trendy, and it's a decent way. It's a good way for someone who's brand new, who has no prospects, to get started, right? To get your foot in the door. But here's the thing. basically, probably most of these people, what they're doing, right, is they're going and they're paying a creator to create a video on a topic, like, the 10 largest buildings in the world or something, right? I don't know. And so they said, we're going to create a 5 or 10-minute video using still imagery, stock footage, right? And then I want to pay someone to write a script using, the, stats from these 10 tallest buildings, like maybe, from the shortest to tallest or whatever, starting at 10, working down your way to the 1, which is the tallest. I'm just coming up with this on the spot. But, and then they get a script, and then they go to a voice actor and they pay the voice actor. So maybe like all in, they paid $50, $60, $100, I don't know, somewhere around there. And they literally now have a piece of content that they can use, right, to say that they own that piece of content now and can market that piece of content. Because I think, and this is something that not only can we learn from SAG-Aftra and the Writers Union and what they're doing, but a lot of what they're bringing to light too, is I think that we kind of intuitively know, or at least the bottom people, the people who are on, like us grunts who are, we know that where the money lies and where it really grows is the control over the views, the eyeballs, subscriptions. That's where everything is right now, and that's where the money lies, and that's where the power lies, right? Because the more eyeballs you have, the more the more subs you have, the more power you have to direct and influence. We know that, right? I mean, that's the age that we live in. So they who own the content own the world, basically, because they have the rules. I mean, and that's really, I think, what, SAG-Aftra in the end and the union really are striking against, and all the pieces that are there are just part of it. Part of the fact of who owns it. Like, look at the AI thing. And wanting to be able to clone people's likeness, like their actual image, right? And they're like, they take like AI video of them and actually have like a real, generated video AI person based off of that actor, and then literally don't ever have to pay them again. But do you see what I mean? It goes back to who owns it. It always goes back to who owns it. So why am I, shooting all this stuff, all this breeze with you? Because I think that part of our business plan, and I know I'm doing it myself, I'm starting to implement it myself, thinking of ways to do this with myself as well as with other voice actors, it is to start to create our own content that we then own and use to generate our own views, whether it be on our websites, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on podcasts, whether it be on, where we're even selling files, where we own the right to that material, and we're not, giving it, or we're not selling it one time, and we don't own the right anymore. Because I think the reality is that when you create intellectual property, so, you create intellectual property, you are creating something that then someone else is going to use and build upon and potentially use that to make a lot of money. All right. And, you have a right to decide how you want to charge that. But the market also determines that, because, right, the more people who come in, and the changes in the industry and the whatever the wind blows, competition then changes what charging can be done, et cetera, et cetera. The point I'm trying to make with that is that once again, right, when you relinquish ownership, you relinquish your power. All right. So and then you got to think it too about, if you look at your business, what does your business own? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the assets of your business? Because I think that part of what I realized too is we either create a business or we're creating a job. Sorry, it's storming here, and I think my dogs are probably going to get upset here. But and that's so going back to what I was just saying there. You're either creating a business or you're creating a job, and I think the difference is when you're creating a job, if you walk away from it, it falls apart on you, right? But by creating a business, You really create an asset. You create things that will keep on going if you walk away, right? They'll keep on earning. So like you and I both know if we stop doing voiceover, what happens? Well, there's no voiceovers being done because we are the voice talent, right? But if we create things that can be sold and used and viewed, which we are technically doing, but we're selling it outright to other people, okay, then, we are losing out on that ownership. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't licensing going away, and I'm not saying that I don't license my work. I do, but what I'm trying to say is I'm still licensing my work to someone else who's using it, which is no problem. But again, I would rather own what I can, because what these people are using it for, okay, is to get views. And information nowadays is the commerce of our age, right? It's information. So by using our abilities to be voice actors, great communicators, and our knowledge of working with writers and other things, we can come together and do it ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Or at least that's what I'm thinking of. Now, I don't propose to have any sort of, insider view of, Hollywood or anything like that. I'm furthest away that you can be from there. But I do respect what they're doing and what they're sensing and what's happening. And I wish them the best. I wish them the best. And, I think for us as non-union people, it's one of those situations where, again, the ownership for me is everything. All right. So, all right. Well, anyways, listen, I better go because it's getting kind of crazy out here. It's thundering and lightning stuff. So thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it. We're really doing some fun stuff. We got the conference pretty much locked up. We're starting to just send out emails now to sure up times and topics. Then we'll release that information so people can start buying tickets. Again, the voiceover VO's Journey conference is in October from the 13th to the 15th. It's a 3-day event. Super exciting. We're going to have like 20, maybe 20 plus speakers. So really thrilled. So and we're going to share that information again when we get everything just finished, but we've pretty much got all the spots filled now. So very excited about that. Also, we're doing some really fun stuff in the VO's Journey Lead Academy. We've been doing some fun practicing with fan dubbing and all kinds of cool things, working together and doing, those so that we can actually share a lot of that, with socials. It's just, to show people what we're practicing on and working on, in webinars and stuff. So really thrilled to show you guys that. Listen, thank you for stopping by. Listening to this episode. It's always a joy. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Take it easy. Peace.